games were last year and the end of the season last year for the Taipans. They were a much different team than what they're seeing at the beginning of this one. So I'm going to take the Adelaide 36ers to win this one in the head-to-head markers. I'm also going to take them at the line here, just to add a little bit of extra juice there. I think they well and truly take care of this Taipans unit. But the best bet in this one is the total points under. I spoke about Cairns' record head-to-head at the Convention Centre. Well, the last 9 games have hit the under at this venue. It must be something in the air, but we're taking the under here. Enjoy and gamble responsibly.
Adelaide 36ers at home, taking on the winless New Zealand Breakers. Spark has Besson. It's French for 3. Down White once again. Besson's up to 19. The Breakers shooting the ball at 66%. Wow. They lead 59-42. A lovely drive, McCarron. Beautiful. Coast to coast from the skipper. Johnson baseline. Hugo Besson has barely been a factor in this third quarter. He sits down. Hannes unloads. Johnson for 3. And that's what can hurt you. The 36ers trail by 2. Hannes late in the clock. Huge. The tougher the shot, the better he's shooting.
Big. That's big.
A disaster out of the timeout for New Zealand. Withers puts the exclamation mark on it. The biggest comeback win of the NBL22 season so far. 19 points down. They thought all hope was lost. The Adelaide 36ers dig down deep to win at 98-85. They haven't just won. They won by 13.
Incredible. It's amazing turnaround.
Well, last Sunday, the Adelaide 36ers pulled off one of the biggest comebacks in franchise history to get the job done against New Zealand and make it 2 wins on the bounce. But tonight they head to far north Queensland, and the Cairns Taipans have a habit of disrupting teams who head into the snake pit, and they'll be planning to ambush the 36ers after coming off their own 7-point win against Tasmania last week. They may be undermanned without Scott Machado, but they won't lack for effort. And Dusty Hannes and the Adelaide 36ers are going to have to bring it tonight if they're going to rack up enough points to win. Hello everybody, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. Even better to be with Liam Santamaria and Pete Hawley. Gentlemen, what are we expecting?
I think another good game. You know, anytime you come into an NBL game thinking you know what's going to happen, surprises come about. And as you say, both these two teams coming off wins after losses in the opening round. So I think Adelaide should be able to take care of business, but the Taipans, without Scott Machado, if they have some other guys step up, could be able to hold fort at home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. As you said, both teams disappointing to start the season, but you finally get in the win column. Now it's about building on that. And tough place to play. Playing in Cairns always has been a tough road trip, so can the Sixers come in and try and keep building on that? I think they will. But exciting addition to the Sixers tonight.
Yeah, Sotto for the first time. The Filipino is going to suit up, struggling with knee issues coming into the pre-season. But on the little I've seen of him at training, he's going to be good. He's going to be a lot better than people are expecting. He's not here just to develop. He's already got tools to work with.
Yeah, excited to see him in the active lineup, going to make his NBL debut. And you're right, you talk to CJ Bruton and other guys around that 36ers team. They've been really impressed with what he's done on the practice floor, got his knee issue under control right now, and he's going to step out, get his first NBL minutes tonight.
And for the Cairns Taipans, well, without Scott Machado, who last season averaged 16 points and 7 assists, he was big for this team. He drives them, and he's out with injury. So the DoorDash starting 5 get 50% off Hungry Jacks on orders over $30. Just see the app for terms and conditions. McCall, Deng, Kual, Courtnoy and Zimmerman, you just can't replace Scott Machado.
Well, you can't, and what it means is Tajir McCall, who's their main defensive weapon, has to slide down into that point guard role and try and do it at both ends. That really, it's just an opportunity. Next man up mentality. They don't have too many of those guys. We've got the injuries. They're still suiting up guys with injuries. But this man right here, Tajir McCall, he has just been outstanding from what we've seen. He fills up the stat sheet. He's a terrific rebounder for his size, and right now I think he has put a lot of emphasis on the offensive end, which is not what ideally he was brought in to do. We know he can fill it up, but he was supposed to spearhead the defense. When they're down there leading playmaker in Machado, he's going to play a lot, and if he stays out of foul trouble and can keep his conditioning going, Adam Ford will try and keep him out there for 40 minutes.
Well, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in the last game against Tasmania. He was huge. The Adelaide 36ers rolling with the same starting lineup that they've used so far this season. Of course, with Mitch McCarron leading from the front, and joining him in the backcourt, we're going to see Dusty Hannes. And Withers, DJ, Daniel Johnson, and of course, Isaac Humphries in the centre as well.
And the key for the 36ers, they've got Dusty Hannahs up and about. 40 points across last week's 2 games, coming off 25 against New Zealand. And they'll be looking to get him involved early and often.
Still no Sunday Ditch because of injury. They'll look to get him back to the into the lineup as soon as possible. But we are set to go from Cairns. The Adelaide 36ers win the tip and with an opportunity to get first points on the board. Starting hasn't been their strong suit this season. So hopefully they will be able to start with some authority, and it's Isaac Humphries who fires unsuccessfully. Quickly up the floor, here's Zimmerman from close range. He gets the Cairns Snakes going.
Well, good start on the Taipans. Good outlet pass. Zimmerman running the floor. And Isaac Humphries, that's a good look for him. I'm sure the Sixers would love to get him a bit more involved, try and get back to that form he was in last season. He was outstanding, and good start for the Cairns Taipans.
Hannahs exploring. Humphries rushing to the hoop. Ran into Zimmerman. Forced to retreat, but still came up with a finish to open Adelaide's account.
Well, that'll feel good for Isaac Humphries. Looking to have a bit of a bigger impact in this one, averaging 8 and 4 across their first 4 games, just 2 blocks in total, so hasn't been having his usual type of impact.
Deng thought he was fouled. Referees didn't see it that way. Withers. It's it from McCarron. Hands over. Dusty Hannahs works to an opening from behind. He's fouled. Tajima call.
They're here, the explanation. Yeah, he got the ball, but he got a lot of the body. So that's not what Adam Ford or the Taipans want. An early foul on Tajima McCall. Without Scott Machado, he's going to have to carry a heavy load. But Clayton Noy's been good. Well, he's averaging 17 points a game, and he said himself a couple of weeks ago he wants to be the most improved player of the league. He started the right way. He's just got to continue that, and again, doesn't really have much option. With players out, he has to put up 17 plus a night to be able to give them any chance. This is a team that hasn't scored over 70 yet.
So Adelaide, 4 unanswered points to take the lead for the first time. Here's McCall slicing his way inside and coming up with the excellent finish.
Great attack from McCall. Has that ability to create off the dribble. You're going to need a lot of that from him tonight. And there he was able to snake his way right to the cup.
Good pressure from the Taipans here. McCarron, another former Cairns player. On with Mojave King as well. It's Daniel Johnson. Still yet to find his groove so far this season, but that's a nice effort.
He loves to play against the Taipans. Daniel Johnson. Of the 7 times he's scored 30 or more in his career, 4 have been against Cairns, including that career-high 38 he had in this building a few years ago. So just something about playing the Taipans as Zimmerman rolls that in over the front of the rim that gets Daniel Johnson going.
Enterprising start to the game. 12 points in the first 2 minutes combined. Here's Daniel Johnson for 3, off the mark. The Taipans with a chance to put their noses back in front. McCall, well off the mark. Loose ball, Johnson gets after it. Deng was good enough to clean it up though. And from the top of the key, Taipans with Bull Kroll do take the lead. Well, in fact, no, it was Courtney.
That's what Courtney's been doing, shooting the ball with confidence. And when he's doing that, the rest of his game opens up. He's starting to put the ball on the floor as McCarron falcons Isaac Humphries and tries to get it to him again.
Couldn't get it to work either time. Zimmerman the rebound for McCall. Well, they're up and about the moment. The Taipans. Well, works inside, but Karen got past him very easily. Ball knocked down out of court. Cairns to restart.
You see down the other end, Tajir McCall, he's got a couple of big jobs. Here you see the hustle, kick out from McCall, finds Courtney, straight away 3. And while McCall has to run the show and get everyone involved at the offensive end, he's guarding Dusty Hannahs down the other. He's in no help mode as he face guards Hannahs, keeps the ball away from him.
Chuk Deng also playing as his former team. Courtney off the mark on that occasion. They lead it by 3. stifled Adelaide's offense so far, but Dusty Hannahs puts a stop to that as he comes up with his first field goal.
Good attack from Hannahs in transition, the cross match. It wasn't McCall in front of him, so he got on the attack, beat Courtnoy to the rim.
Good challenge from Daniel Johnson, but Zimmerman equal to the challenge. 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting here for Steve Zimmerman.
It's been a question mark for Steve Zimmerman in the early couple of games we've seen from the Taipans, and put up getting a lot of rebounds, but so often he gets those in the position underneath the rim and just doesn't finish his hard work. He misses so many easy ones. So really promising start to be able to knock all those in and get Cairns off to a good one, because it is a tough place for a visiting team to come in. They build a fortress up there and you've got to match their energy.
Ball. Zimmerman around the perimeter. Withers, a good position here, but muscling his way in a little closer. Unable to complete it there. Majuk Deng. Here's McCarron, foot on the accelerator, running out of room. Pass was deflected. Good defensive pressure again from the Cairns Snakes. McCall elevates, extends, adds another 2. They lead by 5.
Oh, taking advantage, the Taipans there, of some lazy defensive transition from the 36ers. Just need to sprint back and protect the bucket. Taipans taking advantage.
Here's Daniel Johnson getting it done once more.
Well, he loves that matchup on Majuk Deng. Daniel Johnson, two know each other from the past and just knows he can explore whatever. Jim McCall making things happen.
The penetration from him again. Isaac Humphries, he's coughed it up here. Adelaide turn it over. Deng with a finish.
Oh my. Sloppy play from the 36ers. Timeout, CJ Bruton. He wants to chat about it.
4 turnovers to none. Adelaide's problems looking after the ball. Yeah, they're ugly head again for 36ers fans, and the Taipans 15-10 lead here. Well, they've started certainly with some authority.
And they've started great. That's what you got to do. You got to capitalise on the turnovers. Adam Ford yelling up and down saying we can go to another level from this.
The defense of who we are, and I need you guys to buy in. Look after the basketball. Come back and get it. Stop waiting for things to happen, and your teammate's going to do it. Do it, or come sit down, right? Hey, coming out of here, we're in weak wedge here, okay? So set the screen, get over it. On the defensive end, though, this is what I care about more. Are we able to box out? Oh, shit, my bad.
Deal with the fake energy. It's fake pressure. We're good.
On the drive, hey, if McCall's coming off, it's shoot a gap as a big sitting in. Remember, on Zimmerman, he's not shooting outside the paint. Here we go.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, CJ Bruton just saying he cares about the defensive end. You've given up 15 points in the first 5 minutes to a team that has struggled to score. I'll tell you what, we love some early bold calls throughout the whole NBL season, but Jim McCall could have a triple-double tonight. This is a man who's already got 4 assists, 4 points, and he averages 8.5 rebounds. He's going to do it all. So if he stays out there without any foul trouble, there's a strong chance we could see this man with a triple-double.
And I guarantee you, if that was a basketball in CJ Bruton's hand, he wouldn't have dropped it.
So Adelaide restart. Middle stages of the opening quarter. And again, McCarron just getting plenty of heat there from Bull Qual. They haven't really been able to get into their offense here, and the shot clock rolls to 10. So McCarron goes solo. Knocks down the shot. Hasn't been his strong suit so far this season. So that's a nice confidence booster for Mitch McCarron. Zimmerman's pass knocked down. Active hands from Bairstow, who's checked into the game. Invariably, he has an impact as soon as he arrives, Bairstow. Johnson with a clean-up too, and Adelaide are back on level terms.
You're bang on case. Bairstow, he's been terrific for the first couple of weeks of this NBL22 season, and having an instant impact off the bench again in this one.
McCall looks outside. Again, feet in the paint. Forced to retreat. Shot clock to 2. Tough finish. Couldn't get it done there, Bull Qual. Hannahs, McCarron was calling for the alley-oop. The pass was a poor one. He wanted Johnson, but telegraphed it. And Pinder, against his former team, spoon-feeds Zimmerman for the 2. He's got 8 points on 4 of 4 shooting.
Well, he does get in the right spots at the right time. We've seen that, and as he said, he's just got to make sure he finishes all the easy ones. He's doing that and causing a bit of a problem. He's got the 8 points.
Johnson fires unsuccessfully. Bairstow kept it alive, tapped it up onto the board himself, but was then shut down. Good energy from the Taipans. Mitch McCarron thought it might have been fake energy during the timeout, but right now on top by 2. Shot clock rolls to 7. 12 fire, drains it.
Ooh, wow. The rookie has really impressed over the course of the pre-season and comes out, knocks down an early one in this first quarter.
Average 18 points a game in NBL1, so can fill it up. Pinder doing a good job. On the glass, Zimmerman, easy 2. A lot of Taipans look good. They've scored 7 unanswered points here.
When they get out on the break and in transition and they just have fun, you can hear the crowd loves that. That's when the Taipans are at their best. So one thing for sure, CJ Bruton's got their defensive transition because here goes Keanu Pinder. And it's the energy. This is why they build this fortress in Cairns with energy plays. The crowd get into it when they're having fun out in transition. It can be a tough place to come in and get a win.
Daniel Johnson, Bairstow. Gets it done from close range. First score in the game for him after missing his opening 3 shots. Adelaide have been sloppy at the start of their games. And they've opened the door here for the Taipans once more. Inside the last 2 minutes, term number 1. As the shot clock works to 10. For McCall. He's doing it all at the moment. Zimmerman, extra pass, Pinder. McCarron did well there. It's multiple opponents just to tap it to the advantage of Bairstow. Now Hannahs gets it done. Chance at a 3-point play. Nice assist coming from Manny Malou.
Well, it's another just foul that Jim McCall can just not afford to do. Here's Keanu Pinder. He's taking it from Daniel Johnson and then enjoying all the open court. That's 2 fouls on Jim McCall.
Did Jim McCall get more fancy with the breakaway layup prior to that one? Was it the Carmelo signature?
That's what it looked like. And he just got his footwork wrong because he wanted to get upstairs and in the end had to settle for a layup. But he's got 2 fouls and both of them have been on similar plays trying to defend Dusty Hannahs with the swipe across the back and cleaning up his head. It's Sotto and Keanu Pinder getting into it early.
Mate. No, you went first. You went first. Mate, Mitch, he went first. He went first. He went first. Hey! You got to push in the back. We going to talk now? Just say that, boys.
Right. Basket goes in. We have a little bit of a clamp. Nothing major. We have Sotto going to the player. Nothing is there. We have the Taipan player coming to him. It's a bit of a shuffle. Not necessary to go, but talk to everybody. Yep. So you have to there you go. There you go. Okay.
Let's have a look at it here, what they're trying to discuss to have a look at. So it's Sotto and down up in the bottom of the screen here. And not a whole lot in that.
I love that from Nico Fernandez. That's great officiating. Settled everyone down, then talked with his colleagues and made the point, you know what, not a lot in it. We'll have a word to him. No need to whistle anything, let's get on with things.
He'd be feeling good. Last week he had the little, everyone's saying get in the octagon with how well he could hold back a couple of plays. But I also love the leadership from Mitch McCarron coming over and saying, I'll take care of it, I'll make sure this doesn't happen again. And as you said, nothing came of it. We play on.
Well, they're going to count the 2. Another chance at a 3-point play. Keanu Pinder enjoying this against his former team.
Strong attack from Pinder. I tell you, there's nothing fake about his energy. Coming into the game off the bench here, ripping it through. One dribble straight, drive to the rim. CJ Bruton won't enjoy that. And then, of course, a few possessions earlier, getting it after it defensively, pouncing on the loose ball, throwing it down in transition. And the 36ers had some struggles defensively over their first 4 games. 9th in defensive rating across the league. Now, really small sample size, of course, but the eye test has backed up that they've got some work to do at the defensive end, and the Taipans have 27 on the board with a minute and change still remaining in this opening term.
Taipans have got 10 assists on 12 made field goals as well. This has been impressive. They've exploded here, knowing Adelaide are vulnerable at the start of games. Bairstow against Pinder. Bairstow, perhaps the man that took Pinder's place in Adelaide, so Pinder's enjoying this at the moment. Bairstow can't convert, and Pinder gets the rebound. Jared Kenny brings Cairns back up the floor inside the last 60 seconds of the opening quarter. They've had the answers so far. Back to Kenny. Now McCall. Shot clock at 10. Kenny found feet in the paint. Wanted Jawai, who goes to Pinder for the finishing touches.
McCall making things happen. When he gets downhill ahead of steam, he's just so crafty. A little Euro around the world. I think Jawai dropped it, but went down, picked it up, and now counter Pinder. Hands are getting whatever they want on the offensive end.
Sotto works it down low. Malou, he pulled the chair on Taj McCall.
2 fouls in the first quarter. Adam Ford letting it ride. McCall comes up with the play.
8 points on 4 of 5 shooting for McCall as well. Shot clock turned off here. And McCall, isolated against Sotto, fires over the top, can't finish, but the tip-in belongs to Nate Jawai, and the Cairns Taipans are doing a number on Adelaide here. They have started this game in exponential fashion. It's 31-20, and the Adelaide 36ers have got problems. The home team, the Taipans, on top here. We'll be back with more on the Hungry Jacks NBL right after this. Welcome back to Cairns with the Taipans making plenty of noise here at the moment. 11 points is the margin, and it could have been more. They have dominated Adelaide here in this opening quarter. And that has been impressive, and so too is the input coming from the Kmart family. Our winning family here tonight. And for winning a $50 Kmart gift card, well, it is Melissa Brown. And nothing makes her boys happier than a basketball battle on our street. Don't mess with them. They mean business. And they've got the $50 voucher from Kmart. Thanks very much for their support.
Throwback style there. Far North Queensland, Townsville Crocodiles with the little shout out. And how about the impact from Tajir McCall in that opening quarter? Yes, he picked up 2 fouls. Keep an eye on that foul count as we go. But 8 points, 5 assists, running the show in the absence of Scott Machado and Kai Sotto. Immediate impact there to begin the second.
Shut down Nate Jawai, 5 on the shot clock. Busted play, and eventually they put a stop to it, and it's through Hiram Harris. So, Withers, only starter on the floor at the moment for Adelaide, as CJ Bruton tries to get something happening.
What a block from Kai Sotto. You talk about coming into the league and your first matchup is big Nate Jawai, and he backs you down, and you get the timing right and send it back. straight into his lap.
Mojave King against his former team, can't complete it. Portnoy with the rebound. Been all over Adelaide here. Not helping Adelaide's chances. 7 turnovers to 1 in the opening quarter. They had 50 turnovers in their first 3 games, Adelaide. Self-inflicted wounds. Shot clock to 7. Joai had to go back and retrieve the pass. Now he's got 3 on the shot clock. He may have travelled, or 3 in the key is the call.
Again, really good defense from Sotto. Here's that first possession. Holds position, doesn't let Joai body him, get him out of position with the left shoulder, and again right there. Holt strong enough there in the upper body not to let Joai create space, making life tough inside.
Harris, Sotto, shot clock to single numbers. Withers from the elbow, his first shot in the game. Can't convert. Jared Kenny with the rebound. There's nothing wrong with the energy from the Taipans. It's real to me. Hinder, Kenny, Jawai against Sotto. This time muscles his way in from close range and comes up with the points.
Well, he was extra determined that time, wasn't he, Joai?
Alley-oop play from Hiram Harris. Had a little too much on it. Adelaide have coughed it up again. Portnoy against former teammate Tad Duffelmeyer, just can't complete it. Cairns has scored the last 9 points here, bracketed across quarter time. Withers knocked down, taking the shot as off to the free throw line.
That's what you got to do. We talk about Cairns Taipans being down a few guys. Make the move on the defensive end. And Mitch McCarron called it fake energy, but either way, whether it's fake or it's still energy that you have to match. And the Adelaide 36ers did not match it in the first quarter. Come down, get through your offensive sets, and then make a good read. So it's a good backdoor cut from Withers and gets the foul. And he's going to go to the free throw line.
And they've had a bit of success from those back cut actions, haven't they? That's, you know, they got Dusty Hanners with the and one finish. McCall picking up the foul on the rear contest, and there they found Todd Withers. Nice bounce pass from Sotto, who checks out. Good couple of minutes for him on debut.
Well, that is how you combat, isn't it? The energy, and that's what the Taipans are doing. They're getting disrupted, they're getting in the lane, so those back doors are going to be there, and you need bigs who can make that pass. So that's a really good sign for CJ Bruton, but he cares about defense right now. They've got to get some stops and string them together.
2 minutes played, term number 2. It's Cairns by 12. 12, hands over. Now Pinder, been everywhere at the moment. Keeps it alive with the offensive rebound. Good hustle there from Hiram Harris. Just deflecting the pass. Now a chance for Tad Duffelmeyer. Withers. Floater. Wouldn't work then. Dusty Hanners came back to Humphreys. Withers outside the perimeter. He can't finish. Portnoy grabs the rebound. Number 4 for him in that category. No one has more. Paul spinning on Hanners. Needs help. Right at the top of the key here by Portnoy. Exploring, got inside Harris. Hinder shares it with Qual. Deep, Zimmerman. Able to keep it alive. Adelaide forced to knock it down out of court.
You can see the difference for the Taipans offensively in the half court when Tajir McCall's not out there. Just lacking that guy who can snake his way into the lane. Noi eventually got in there. But as Adam Ford finds a couple of minutes of rest here for Tajir McCall, keen to talk about it with his squad.
Good. Hey, great job. Hey, let's run 4-door out of the side out. Listen up. Your ball side corner. So I'm going to have Bull. You're going to inbound, and then I need you to run all the way across this side. Okay? What? Oh no, hang on a sec. You're going to be point. Yeah. Hey, Zim, you be out, you collect this ball. Bull, give it straight back, you're down here. Your space, you're the one cutting through. You over the top, okay? You get the ball, you're the point guard. You're going to hit hard, okay? Forward or out and side out.
So McCall coming back into the game for the Taipans. 2 fouls. Desperately needs to just keep control of his foul count as this game goes along. They look much, much better when he's out there on the floor.
Have a look at this lineup. They're like 36ers. Tom Withers in the 4, Isaac Humphries. Then you've got Tad Dufemeier, Dusty Hanners, and Mitch McCarron. Tad Dufemeier right now has the assignment off to Jim McCall. Trying to slow him down because when he is on the floor, everything's going through him.
Ball picks up the dribble. Shot clock to 6. Here's McCall. Working on Dufemeier and earning a trip to the free throw line.
They work their way through it. The Taipans frustrating for Adam Ford. They drop the play and then Steven Zimmerman throws it the wrong direction. But they got it back where it needed to go. Found Tajir McCall right in the middle of the painted area and gets himself to the stripe.
And that's been one of the offensive sets they've used in the first couple of games with Scott Machado normally at the point and Tajir McCall coming off that flex screen. Just gets wide open layups, and a lot of it is you've got Courtney, you've got shooters that the defense has to respect, so they kind of fall asleep on McCall, who ends up taking off that flex cut across the baseline and normally gets an easy 2, and there's Scott Machado cheering on his team.
Game high 14-point advantage. Hannah's left open, a little deep with the 3. Foul's going to be called on Bull Qual. Just taking at the shorts. First personal for him. Adelaide just 35% from the field, 1 of 6 from deep at the moment. Hannah's steps outside the 3-point line. This time short with it. McCarron gets it after Withers kept it alive from close range. Isaac Humphries comes up with it.
My total breakdown defensively for the Taipans. Tajir McCall screaming at his teammates. Thought the switch was going to come and it didn't. Sixers left wide open.
Court 9, nothing on offer. Majuk Deng gets a look and knocks down the 3 ball.
He's been quiet this season, Majuk Deng. Has been a bit frustrated at times, I think, with not getting enough looks, and that's what he does well is Tom Withers. Well done from Isaac Humphries. I think he tried to throw that down. Tom Withers with the baseline drive, but Majuk Deng, you see him so often in the pick and pop, and he's tough to guard. What a pass.
Well, Zimmerman met at the summit by Humphries, who thought he got it clean. But that's McCall.
Oh, he's just so crafty. Tajir McCall, just probing as he makes his way off that pick. Look at him here. His eyes are up, and the timing. As soon as he had Isaac Humphries engaged, he found Zimmerman in the middle of the lane.
Had a good start here, Zimmerman. Came up with 8 points in the opening quarter. He's led the 2 games he's played. Led the game in rebounding, 14 and 14 against Perth. Then finished with 5 points, 12 boards against Tasmania. And right now, 14-point advantage for the Taipans. We'll have 4 minutes played here in the second. Humphries wants to take him on at the other end, and Isaac Humphries is warming to the challenge here. 8 points in the game for him. 6 of the 7 Adelaide have scored in this quarter.
That's his season average, Isaac Humphries, 8 points. Good to see him get a bit more involved. I love that he's getting on the offensive glass, just hanging around to get some extra opportunities. Just trying to build his confidence back up to the level we saw last season.
Taking them on again, just trying to create. Taipans will restart here. Quick release, all the bottom of the net.
Well, he's giving him a punch, isn't he? Bull Qual. Adam Ford has a lot of faith in the rookie that he's pulled out of the NBL1, and he's responding.
Withers with his hands full. Humphries, lob pass was never on. He tried to get Daniel Johnson involved. Stand by!
Oh, my.
Couldn't get the elevation. He was after Courtney. McCall look away past Zimmerman. eventually controlled it and then lost it.
Okay, so we call that a flat tyre. That is quite annoying. It was a great pass from the big fella, Zimmerman, out in front. Look at this left-handed push pass, and then quite annoys like, here we go. Flat tyre there, and in the end, didn't quite get close, but Cairns get another opportunity at it.
9 on the shot clock. McCall will restart here. Zimmerman, Quoll, back to McCall. Shot clock at 3. Stepping back against Dusty Hannah's never looked likely. Daniel Johnson scoops up the loose ball.
Down, up, left.
Humphries is given some latitude by Zimmerman. Now picks up the dribble. Again, they're just out of sync at the offensive end. Travelling violation called on Isaac Humphries. Turnover number 9 for Adelaide.
Well, I thought he might have got away with it. It wasn't for the Taipans fans. Just lost track of what he was doing. So Jim McCall, it's unfortunate that's to launch one on the shot clock buzzer because he's 1 of 11 from 3 this season. That's really the one blemish on his game, and I think it was you, Liam, who said if he knocks that down with consistency, and that's why he'd be an NBA player. That's the one thing that's really holding him back. Does everything else at such a high level. Love his defensive energy, the way he gets in the passing lanes, blocks, steals, even the way he creates on the offensive end. He just hasn't found that consistent stroke from outside.
Well, he knows it. You know, speaking post-game after the win over Tasmania, we were marvelling at the 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but he had an eye on the efficiency. 0 for 6 from three-point territory, 6 turnovers. He said in the presser, I don't actually think I played that well. I got much more room to grow as he finishes that reverse off the glass.
Margin continues to grow here. 17 now in favour of the Taipans. Bairstow gets it from McCarron from close range. Comes up with the finish. There's one proactive team here and one reactive team. This has been good to watch from the Taipans. Zimmerman. Quoll ready to go again. Knocked down taking the shot, couldn't get a whistle. Majuk Den getting it over the back of Johnson. Didn't appreciate the contact. Here's Bairstow. But a lob pass was cut out. He gets back to recover. A good hustle again. Well done, Courtney behind the back. He's got support on either wing. Zimmerman back to Courtney, and he travelled, wasn't expecting it.
Jeez, they made a meal of that. The Taipans, he could have raffled who was going to finish the play as the Taipans just motoring past the 36ers in transition. A lack of effort to get back from Adelaide, and the Taipans also just first to the ball. Loose balls all over the floor. It's orange jerseys that are getting themselves to it. That's why they've got that 15-point margin.
Okay, so you said it, reactive, and that's been the story of Adelaide's season so far. And down 17 at the half to the Breakers. Credit to them for turning it around, but they have to be on the front foot. And I think a lot of it does start offensively with Mitch McCarron trying to get everybody involved on the offensive end, get everybody in the right spot. You heard CJ Bruton was saying we need to have players in the corners, we need to have everybody in the right spots. But and then as you highlighted, Liam, their defense just hasn't been there, especially in transition. You've turned it over 10 times already. Everybody has to run back. As soon as that ball is up for grabs, if you see an orange jersey grab it, everyone has to put their head down and sprint.
And it's been a regular problem from them, and one that there doesn't seem an appetite to retrieve at the moment. Here's Bairstow. His 3 off the mark. Kenny, quick release. McCall. Lob pass, Zimmerman. Asked a lot of him, but he was good enough to keep it alive and get it to Majuk Deng for the 2.
Well, again, right there, that ends up being 3-on-1. The Taipans get it through hands. They finish at the rim, running off long misses as Hannah scores a much-needed basket for the 36ers at the rim.
Timeout call, 2:34 to play here, and in the first half, a 15-point edge for Cairns. They're led by 11 at quarter time. And CJ Bruton, well, he would be tearing his hair out if he still had some, because no matter what he does, there just seems to be a lack of his message getting through.
I'm not. And while you can do something about it right now, we're giving up so many points. The leak out, we talked about it on video. The leak outs are coming. They're running by us. They've played with more effort than us. I know we're not at home, but I don't care. That's no excuse. Right now, you're trying to find any way. I got fouled. I don't run back. I lost the ball. Well, sprint your butt back. We play out of wide. The elbow hit. That guy flashes. Throw it here. This guy, as he comes down, hit the elbow. Back cut. Flash back to the ball. If you don't have that, hit him. Come off the other side of the floor. Attack the rim. Hey, we're being soft right now. Finish 2 feet in the paint. Let's go.
6 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, message pretty clear from CJ Bruton. Geez, anytime you hear your head coach use the word soft about how you're playing, that has to ring pretty hard. And really banging home the point about defensive transition. Clearly alluding to the fact they'd spoken about it in the pre-game, in the lead up to this contest, that the Taipans are going to look to run off misses and defensive rebounds, and his Chargers have not been up to the task thus far.
Little over 2 minutes out from halftime. Zimmerman, top of the key, Carter by Bairstow. Here's Deng, stood off him. Hinder. Shot clock rolls to 5. Hinder ends Withers, step back, couldn't finish it. Loose ball, Bairstow gets after it. Now Withers for McCarron. So we move inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Johnson at the elbow against Pinder. Puts it on the deck. Wants to go on with it. And that's a tough shot from Daniel Johnson, but he's good enough to make it work. He's got 8 points in the game.
Just goes about his business, Daniel Johnson, nice and slow, and it looks like he's got no right to finish that, but he can just score in a variety of ways. As soon as he gets a step past you, feels the advantage. More often than not, he's going to make it or you're going to foul him. Good knockdown from Daniel Johnson.
And with a spin move from McCall, just a little out of control, couldn't finish it, and now McCarron brings Adelaide forward. Withers shares it. Manny Malou, baseline. Nothing on offer. He's passed. Withers did well to reel it in. McCall read what was happening next, though. Stole it away, but now he needs some help. No, he doesn't. Goes solo. Adds another 2.
Wow, just bringing the energy. McCall again, loose ball. He gets after it, gets his mitt to it. And able to make it happen down the other end.
Bairstow looks inside. Daniel Johnson worried out of the points by Majuk Deng. They've got all the answers here at the moment, Cairns. They lead by 15 inside the last 60 seconds of the first half. What a half it has been from Tajir McCall as well. Asked a lot of him, and he's equal to the challenge so far. Shares it with Deng in the corner. Yes!
Just great awareness from Jim McCall. We know everything's going to run through him. He just waits patiently for some of the defense to break down. See somebody cheating in and finds Majuk Deng in the corner, and there wasn't a whole lot of a reason to leave Majuk Deng that open when nothing else was really happening. Jim McCall was just standing with the ball.
Bairstow off the mark. Game-high 18-point lead. Bairstow did well there to defuse it momentarily. Now Deng. Last play of the first half. And why not? Tajir McCall takes them on, draws a foul off to the free throw line. Cairns Taipans have been in the 60s their first 2 games as a score. 51 already.
And I think it's nice that this half's going to finish, well, almost 3 seconds to go, with Tajir McCall at the free throw line, because he has really set the tone for this team. He's got 14 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals, and he's just adding to those numbers.
He's telling his teammates what to do while he's taking free throws.
He's an incredible addition to the Taipans. Does so many good things. He just lifts up everybody to come along with him. And this is the piece they were really missing last season, the Taipans.
Zimmerman turnaround, drains it. What a finish to a first half. Scotty Machado can't believe it, and the fans are on their feet in Cairns. The Taipans, 19-point leaders here at halftime, 54-33, and no wonder they are excited.
Wow, it's been shock and awe from the Taipans in this first half. Outplaying, out-hustling the 36ers in almost every facet of the game, and rewarding their passionate fan base with a big first half.
Well, Tajir McCall has turned it on here in the first half. He's with us now. Tajir, fantastic first half. That's exceptional. You must be happy with the way this has unfolded.
Thank you. Yeah, very happy. The crowd is helping us. I mean, we're playing together as a team. We're playing defense. I can't ask for more.
15 points, 7 assists for you at the moment. Can you give us a prediction? Where can you take this in the second half?
I have no clue. Doesn't really matter. Adelaide not going to give up. I watched another game where they came back from down before, so we got to finish as a team. I can stay with 15 and 7 as long as we win. That's cool.
And tell us what's going to be the key here in the second half then.
Defense and rebounding. Keep the intensity up. Keep them working hard.
Doing a great job. Really appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Tajir McCall turning it on here for the Cairns Taipans, who lead by 19 points at the moment. In fact, we can even make it more. Let's make it 21 points at the moment. 54-33. It's hard to keep up with the Snakes. We'll do our best, though. Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. Highlights to half-time are going to feature Tajir McCall almost exclusively. That is one of the best first halves of basketball you're going to see. Dishing, scoring, energising, just making things happen. No surprise that it's a 21-point lead for the Taipans at half-time. Full credit to them.
They've come out with tremendous energy, the Taipans, in front of their passionate home fans, and they've really brought it at the defensive end. All kinds of pressure. The 36ers, through Daniel Johnson, a couple of times been able to tick the scoreboard over a little bit, but for the most part, it's been the Taipans getting on the front foot, getting deflections, running off defensive rebounds, filling the lanes, and then scoring in transition in the half court. They've been able to find some open shooters, 5 3-point makes in that first half, and Tajir McCall, as you say, setting the tone. 13 points, 7 assists, 3 steals. Just having a massive impact all over the floor. Zimmerman's in double figures, and a whole bunch of other Taipans contributing in a big, big way.
Well, they are. And Mitch McCarron said in one of the timeouts that it's fake energy. Well, it doesn't look like fake energy. They've come to play and they've caught the Adelaide 36ers sleeping once again, which seems to be the story of their season so far. And credit to everybody on the Taipans. We know Tajir McCall's leading the way, but everyone else is coming along for the ride. Zimmerman's looked really good. Majuk Deng looks good for probably the first time this season. He's enjoying himself. Bull Quoll comes on, hits a couple threes. Keanu Pinder's brought energy. They're feeding off Tajir McCall, the crowd's involved, and Adelaide's got to wake up because this is just not a pretty first 20 minutes.
No, well, everything the Cairns are doing well, Adelaide are doing poorly, and that's no energy, turning the ball over, no teamwork, the structure's broken down, and we credit Tajir McCall with making it all on the highlight reel, but Adelaide have got to find a good look in the mirror here at half-time, but while they're doing that, let's just marvel at what Tajir McCall's doing.
Well, the big issue for the Taipans was no Scott Machado coming into this game. Who was going to step up as their playmaker? Now, of course, Adam Ford put the ball in the hands of Tajir McCall, and he has really brought it. Getting guys looks in the half court, having a little fun in transition, and just his high energy play, his craftiness around the rim has resulted in a massive impact over the course of that first half, and nobody for the 36ers has been able to match his intensity.
And I'm not sure, have a look at the shot chart from Sotto Stream, look at all those green dots inside the key. I'm not sure the Adelaide 36ers have a one-on-one matchup for him to try and slow him down. He's just too crafty, he's too quick. You try and think about Mitch McCarron, he can lock down when he wants to. Mojave King maybe in terms of athleticism, but this might be something that Adelaide, they have to lift their intensity, but also they might have to go to some sort of zone, try and do something to throw something else at the Taipans, try and stop Tajir McCall's impact, and then obviously they have to fix their offensive output. 33 points in a half is going to struggle to win games, especially on the road.
And when you're picking the ball out of the bottom of the net every time as well. Adelaide's defence has been woeful all season. In contrast, well, they brought the energy, the Cairns Taipans, and they were able to close Adelaide down when they did look like they were going to make something happen. Full credit to them at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, this is where it started for the Taipans, isn't it, at the defensive end. And we talked about their effort at the loose balls. Look at Bull Quoll pouncing on that one, no look pass, and Majuk Deng finishes underneath. And here, effort on the defensive glass. Once you can finish the defensive play, you kick it out. Everybody's filling lanes. The 36ers not getting back. And here, McCall, even with 2 fouls to his name in that first quarter, pulling the chair, getting the steal. Just getting hands on things, deflections, forcing turnovers, and then shoving it down Adelaide's throat, going the other way.
Well, this can be the real silver lining. As have a look at the team focus right now. Jim McCall and Steve Zimmerman have been great, but it's been a real team effort. You look at that, only 4 turnovers themselves. The silver lining to having Scott Machado out and so many other guys injured is all the bench guys, all the role players, their leash gets a little longer, and Adam Ford's basically saying, I can't pull you out, I need you guys to play. So they're filled with confidence before the game even starts. Once the energy's lifted, they're out there, they just feel good about themselves, and it's contagious. It's clearly looking like it's fun to be a part of, and that's why they've got a 20-point lead.
Look at those assist numbers. 17 assists on 22 made field goals for the Taipans. Everybody's getting a piece of it, and they're having a whole bunch of fun.
I saw this movie last Sunday. I had a front row seat in Adelaide and they walked off at halftime in a similar position. I did not think there was any way they could turn it around. Somehow they did. What do they need to do this time?
I'll tell you what, it's a long walk to the change rooms in the convention centre, so they would have a lot to say. I think Mitch McCarron would have piped up in the halftime huddle. He's got to get going, and then CJ Bruton basically just saying the same thing. We've been in this position. We've got to match their intensity. Starts on the defensive end because they've got a hole to climb out of. So it's all good if they fix their offense, but if you don't stop them scoring, you're not going to cut into this margin.
Looking for back-to-back wins, the Cairns Taipans lead Adelaide by 21 points. Can the comeback Adelaide 36ers do it again? Find out. Join us on the other side of the break here on the Hungry Jacks at NBL. Well, it's been an impressive start by the Cairns Taipans, and they are looking to continue that in front of the home faithful in far north Queensland. Outstanding work from them. They only won back-to-back games once last year, the Cairns Taipans. Finished on the bottom of the ladder with just 8 wins and 28 losses. But they look everything like a back-to-back winning team here tonight, because the Adelaide 36ers, yes, self-inflicted wounds, but take nothing away from the undermanned Taipans lineup. They've given them all they can handle and a little bit more. So Adelaide with the possession arrow to restart here. And they revert to their original 5. Withers, bounce pass. Humphries was there a long time, but he gets it done. He's into double figures and leads Adelaide.
Good execution. Opening play to begin the second half from Adelaide. Got a right to Isaac Humphries. Deep catch at home base. They need to start getting it done at this end of the floor.
Zimmerman. McCall. Gets it back from Quoll. The mismatch he wanted, and they get it to Zimmerman down though against Withers. Shot clock to 2. Zimmerman. Well, he was patient, and it was worthwhile waiting for.
Incredibly patient. Thought he might have mistimed that, but got to his spot, rose up, and really good game from Stephen Zimmerman. But I already like the difference in the Adelaide 36ers. You had Mitch McCarron, you had Dusty Hannahs picking up full court and at least showing that intent to get up and in and try and be a bit disruptive.
McCarron gets it from Withers. Shot clock works to 5 against Quoll. Behind the back. Shut him down. Wow.
That was terrific defense from Bull Quoll. You could hear Adam Ford encouraging him on the sidelines. Look at him sliding his feet in front of Mitch McCarron and then walling up on the finish. 1 on the shot clock for Adelaide, and they score it.
Wow, the breakdown there, and Hannahs, they have 1 second to get it done.
That's what Tajim McCall is telling Bull Quoll is there's no need for you to be guarding Mitch McCarron like that. Get into that where the logo is, the charge circle. Make sure you clog that up, because with 1 second to go, you live with a contested 3.
Well, Zimmerman shut down by Daniel Johnson, but the throwdown from Majuk Deng on his former team.
Good to see him smiling. Majuk Deng has been frustrated to start with. Not getting enough shots, not getting involved in the offense. There's one way to get yourself involved. Get on the offensive glass.
Humphries at the elbow against Zimmerman. Rolling to the hoop. Never looked likely. And just limping off the play and waving to the bench as well.
Keep your dribble on.
Stays out there for the moment. And wonders for how much longer as Withers gets into the back of Bull Quoll there, doing it at both ends of the floor.
We haven't highlighted too much at halftime, Bull Quoll on the defensive end, because we talked about Tajim McCall, but remember back to the start of the game, his energy and intensity, we highlighted by that play on Mitch McCarron, but he moves his feet, he gets down, he gets active with his hands, and even then on the offensive glass, just put his head down and said, someone's going to have to butt me or else I'm getting this rebound.
McCall with it, top of the key. Shot clock at 8, got beyond Hannahs, confronted by Johnson. Just bit off more than he could chew on that occasion. And Adelaide will get possession, but Isaac Humphries just came out of this play.
I need you to calm down.
As you can see, just a little second hand. He did wave toward the bench.
Hey, Adam.
They're going to leave him out there and try and shake it off at the moment as Hannahs brings Adelaide up the floor. Pass McCall, confronted by Zimmerman. Johnson. Withers. Hit to hit a field goal in the game. They go back to Daniel Johnson. They collapsed on him. And a foot violation is called on the Taipans. But again, it's just that appetite for work at the defensive end from Cairns. All 4 just collapsed on Johnson. He was going nowhere.
Yeah, they're locked in defensively, ready to help each other, and all kinds of pressure on the ball.
Here's McCarron down low against Quoll. Johnson. Good look at the 3 ball. It's off the mark. Adelaide 1 of 10 from deep. Just can't get anything happening at the moment, and largely because the Taipans won't let them. Nice pass, Quoll from close range, and they're dancing all over the 36ers at the moment. A 23-point lead. A game high. 3 minutes played here in the 3rd. Portnoy with it. Quoll, Zimmerman against Daniel Johnson. Muscling his way in a little closer. The hook shot can't complete it. Daniel Johnson the rebound. ball-carrying duties as well. Wants to go coast to coast. Muscles his way in from close range. Can't complete it. McCall, look away pass. Adelaide again slow on getting back a defensive transition. Johnson from close range adds another 2.
Well, a little bit better effort though, Case. At least they were there to get a hand on that kick ahead from Tajir McCall, and results in a bucket down the other end.
Portnoy with it. Pass with it. Confronted by Isaac Humphries. Needs help. Zimmerman down low.
We've sung the praises of Bull Qual at the defensive end. Look at this read. He's in this corner on the right-hand side of your screen, and as he comes to set the flare screen, just feels the defense overplaying on the perimeter. Back cut, bucket. His energy has been great for the Taipans tonight.
On the flip side, Adelaide 36ers, everybody was standing up. No one was in a stance. Everyone was just walking around saying, oh, you guys are just going to go around the perimeter. No one's going to attack. So Bull Qual said, I've gone 100 miles out since the start. I'm going to continue doing it here. Gets an easy one.
Giving McCarron plenty to think about at the moment. Just overdoing it. You can see that Mitch McCarron's frustrated by this. Bull Qual picks up his second personal. First team foul on Cairns here in the third term.
A well-earned rest for Bull Qual. He comes out, and the Taipans fans appreciate his efforts. And Jared Kenny takes up that matchup with Mitch McCarron.
Took over 4 minutes played in the third. McCarron's floater caught the front of the rim. They've had the answers on Kane. Here's Kenny. He's left alone. No one came toward him, and eventually Sotto slow to react and has fouled him, and we're off to the free throw line.
Again, issues for Adelaide in defensive transition. That time it wasn't a problem about getting back, but it was the communication on matching up. And McCall just switches the play with the cross-court pass, and Kenny strolls in to an open 3-ball.
Here's CJ Bruton in the background saying, White, talking about all the jerseys out there, sprint back, but then someone declare the ball. Someone's got to go to the ball. It's kind of, at this rate, he's thinking, pick your poison. They didn't run back in the first half, got exposed for layups. Now they finally do get back, and no one stops the ball, and Jared Kenny walks in to a 3 and gets fouled.
First trip to the free throw line this season for Jared Kenny. He made the most of it. And the margin is out to 24, the biggest we've seen at any stage. And just not enough being done by Adelaide at the moment to suggest that they're going to rule this in. Dusty Hannahs with the ball carrying duties for Adelaide. Feeds Karen. Penetration, quick whistle provided here.
Oh no.
Let's hope that is all right for Sotto rushing in.
Sotto doing the right thing there. Running over to help out McCarron and slips on the wet spot. He looks like he's okay. Well, you see the trail of moisture that McCarron leaves behind, and Sotto loses his footing underneath.
Appears to be okay, the 19-year-old, Philippines. Adelaide to restart. Karen and Hannah's starters out there at the moment. Warren Harris with a pass was telegraphed. McCall dancing on the sideline, reels it in, goes to Deng. Steps inside Hiram Harris and peels off a triple. This is pretty to watch from the Taipans.
Well, it is, and who else would it start with? Tajir McCall. There's an offensive foul on Cam Bairstow. Who else is going to get the call? Tajir McCall is everywhere. Gets in the lane. He's got 8 assists, gets that steal, finds Majuk Deng trailing, and on the other end, gets excited about it, but just turns back around, does his job defensively. Here's the play. He finds Majuk Deng. Harris goes flying past, knocks that down, feels good about it for about a split second, then turns back around on the defensive end, gets all up and in, makes Cam Bairstow have to try and do a bit more to get someone open. Offensive foul.
He's a gun. Tajir McCall, what a great pickup, what a great addition to our league. And Mitch Creek commented on social media during the week saying, I got a front row look at it when he was a teammate of McCall's at Long Island Nets in the G League a couple of seasons ago under Will Weaver. Having a big impact for the Taipans.
Takes on Hiram Harris here. It's passed. Withers came up with the loose ball. Now back to Harris. McCarron inside the last 5 minutes of the third quarter. They've just taken Adelaide out of their stuff. I'm not sure they actually bought any.
Oh, there he is again. So Jim McCall, the timing to get around, not foul, poke the ball out from Mitch McCarron. Run out of words to describe him, especially after watching the heroic effort last week when Machado went down. He did everything to get them across the line in a game that wasn't pretty. He probably deserved that one to go down.
Here's McCarron exploring. McCall bounced off Bairstow. Harris, he travelled. Adelaide turned it over for the 15th time in the game. This has been par for the course for Adelaide, though. The high turnover count. Jamie Pearlman, the assistant, and CJ Bruton. Well, this is proving a difficult assignment for them. Let's not forget that McCall arrived here as a defensive specialist as well. Runner-up Defensive Player of the Year in the G League, where he won the title, the Lakeside Magic. And being asked to step in at the offensive end with Scotty Machado out injured. And he said, yeah, I got that too. 13 points, 8 assists, 5 steals.
I tell you, has the respect of his peers to Jim McCall. I chatted with Todd Withers, Adelaide import, ahead of the start of the season. And he said one of his aims for this year was to be Defensive Player of the Year, best defensive player in the NBL, as Kenny gets into the lane, kicks it out, Deng can't hit. And he said the cool thing for me is I'm going to have to beat one of my idols in Tajir McCall to win that award.
Off the mark, Sotto and Zimmerman hit the deck.
He said, I've watched him do his thing for a number of years at the G League level, and he said, I try to play defense like Tajir McCall does. Now we're in the same league together, and I know if I can get myself up into that conversation, I'll have done well, because McCall's also in this league. So that's high praise from an opponent as Sotto gets tangled up once again down low.
Foul on Zimmerman there, just pulling him down, and didn't have to do it. Both had position. Just Sotto's arm, and he'll sit down now.
McCarron gets it down the low block. Trying to find a way beyond what, in fact, it was Bull. Came to Withers. Bairstow turn around with the shot clock about to expire. And Jawai reels it in. 6 points for Adelaide in this quarter. Trying to chase down a 21-point halftime deficit. It's just getting uglier for them.
Well, it is. They're just piling it up in the Cairns Taipans. Whatever they want. Look how easy they get into that offensive set. There's smiles all around. Why wouldn't there be? Because they've got 69 points with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And 69 is their highest score so far for this season for a game. So whatever they want on the offensive end, just look how easy this is. No one's really pressuring. You're not going to pressure Nate Jawai out there, but no one's fighting through anything. Majuk Deng has not missed a three. He's 3 of 3, so you probably want to close out a bit more. Let's see what CJ has to say.
So that you've got the basket. The guy who's got the ball, again, you're in an open stance like we said, and you're trying to read that pass, right? Get your foot, kick it, do whatever. Off the ball. If there's a down screen, right, you chase over it, and then you get to the elbow. Get over it, bust through. If your man sent a down screen, be in an open stance for now, right? Before I say push off. Offensively, we got back 4 coming out of this here. Dribble handoff, high guy cuts, hand it off, pitch it on, come back and set the back pick for the big. He goes to the block. The guy who sets a back pick, if you don't throw it in, he's coming to get the ball back for the twist. Stay at the rim. Here we go.
Well, there's no shortage of talent on the Adelaide 36ers roster. It's coming together that's really the problem for them.
No doubt about it. And CJ Bruton there talking at length about what they need to do at the defensive end. Talking about addressing that last play, the down screen that freed up Majuk Deng, saying all these down screens fired over the top. Todd Withers slipped underneath. And Majuk Deng catch and shoot, knocks it down from 3.
Humphreys against Nate Jarwhite. Nothing on offer. Now whistle from Mark Mill. 4th team foul on the Taipans in this quarter. Again, just no fluency for Adelaide's offense. In fact, they're struggling to get the ball in.
Great job from the Taipans. Full qual, ready to switch out and deny on the wing off the inbounds passer. Kenny goes to the ball and they force the 5-second violation.
It's been a dominant display inside the last 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter, and the Taipans just mauling the Adelaide 36ers at the moment. But Deng against his old team has knocked down 5 threes without a miss. I think that just inside the line.
He's got 20 points.
20 points.
Averaging 5 for the season. Barely getting a shot up, and Isaac Humphreys misses one that he'd normally make 9 times out of 10.
This is starting to become embarrassing for the Adelaide 36ers. Shot clock to 5. They lob it down to Jarwhite. The extra pass. Kinder. Yes!
Oh, boy.
It's a basketball party at the Cairns Convention Centre. Everybody getting a piece of the action.
20-6 in this quarter alone. Duvelmeyer exploring, ran into Big Nate. Bangs 2 off the glass to open his scoring account.
He was saying hello to his former teammate, Tad Duvelmeyer, but it's hard work. You've got to rely on Duvelmeyer going into Nate Jarwhite just to get a score.
Shot clock to single digits. Taipans off the mark. Pinder getting in over the back of Withers is going to be called for the foul. So free throws to come for Adelaide here as we walk to the other end of the floor.
And it hasn't just been Taipans starting really strongly, having periods of fading out. Anyone who's come on the floor has just continued to lift and match the intensity. Plus minus is always a tricky thing to look into. And I mentioned that last night with Vic Law. And his was minus 26 in his game in the double overtime when he had 29 points. But all 11 players from the Sixers are in the minus, so no one has even come on and tried to tick it over. And all guys who have stepped on the floor for the Taipans are in the plus in double figures. That's just literally as soon as one guy's subbing in, they're having impact, they're matching it, and they're continuing to build on this lead. No one's had an impact at all from the Adelaide 36ers.
All the fans need now are hamburgers. Just to put the icing on the cake. There you go.
Asking you shall receive, Case.
Timeout is the code word. Enjoy Queensland. Courtesy of a brilliant display from the Taipans and less than optimal effort from Adelaide. Here's Deng. Yes!
Oh, my.
Oh,
my. He's feeling it. Majuk Deng just catching and letting it fly. He is really feeling it.
This Duvelmeyer baseline coming up with 2 more. And this has been some sort of performance from the Taipans. Their highest score last season was 103 in a game they lost. Why not? Majuk Deng off the mark.
That's his first miss from long range. 5 of 6 now.
13 points in this quarter alone. He's outscored Adelaide by himself. Adelaide has added just 10 as Johnson comes up empty. Shot clock going to be 10 seconds inside the game clock as we head toward 3-quarter time. Full qual, top of the key. Working on Manny Malou. Confronted by Isaac Humphreys. Kicks outside Kenny. He's deep. Isaac Humphreys grabs the loose ball. Duvelmeyer penetrating, went down, clutching his left ankle. This doesn't look good. Well, the former Cairns player hurt on the last play. Let's hope he can get back to his feet. But at the moment, not only is he struggling, but the 36ers, well, they are on their knees at the moment. And the Cairns Taipans, well, they have run away with the game here. They lead it by 34 points at three-quarter time. 77-43 is an unlikely equation, but in far north Queensland, the Cairns Taipans are having a party. Well, the Queensland fans are getting everything they paid money for tonight from the Taipans. This has been outstanding work, with Cairns in front by 11 at quarter time, by 21 at the half, and now by 34 points over a lacklustre Adelaide, who have delivered free burgers for Queensland as well. Taipans with a possession arrow. This has been ugly for Adelaide.
They just haven't let up, have they? The Taipans, 23-10 in that third quarter as they extend their lead.
There's an offensive foul to start. Juk Deng trying to do a little rub screen.
He's
Trying
like this. He's
to
like
get
that.
the big man to get downhill. Juk Deng just wasn't set. That was an offensive linesman in the NFL. Just two hands on, just moving him out the way. Trying to get Zimmerman downhill, which I'm not sure we'll say too often. Get Zimmerman downhill. But there we go. Start with a stop. What can Adelaide just try and build on? Just try and show something in this game.
Withers, McCarron, penetration, Sotto in traffic. Draws a foul off to the free throw line.
Good strong
Zimmerman
take.
picks up the foul.
Sorry, Case. Good strong take from Sotto. As soon as he had it in the paint, just braced himself and went up strong. And maybe that's a big positive they can get out of this fourth quarter. If Sotto gets a whole bunch of run and gets himself comfortable on the NBL hardwood. As Taipans coach Adam Ford, looks like he's throwing the coach's challenge into the mix.
Well, this will be an interesting one, because Tajima McCall turned around to Coach Adam Ford and said, challenge that, I wasn't near it. But then they called the foul on Steve Zimmerman. So I think Zimmerman must have turned around and said, well, hang on, I wasn't near it either. Now, the key thing is, if someone else has fouled, not Zimmerman, you're not changing the foul to who it was. So they're just strictly looking at Steve Zimmerman, and I'm not even sure he had much to do with this, because Mitch McCarron pushes him out the way. Oh, yes, he does. I think that right arm of Steve Zimmerman.
That bottom right hand, that one there, there's the close in on. Zimmerman there with the right hand. Yeah, just gets him on the left arm.
That's a foul. Not sure what happened there and whether he said something to Adam Ford. And I will say, I will give Adam Ford credit. There's the foul right there, so this is going to stay. Yep. Freeze frame that one. Adam Ford had a successful challenge in the jungle.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. It's a foul on 33 stands. It will be 2 shots to wide 11.
Look at that. There you go. There's the answer there, and we saw it. It's unsuccessful. Adam Ford, he won one in the jungle. Then last weekend on this floor produced one of the worst coach's challenges you'll ever see. Wasn't sure if it was a foul on Keanu Pinder or a goaltend, and they said, which one do you want to challenge? He said all the above, and he would have lost all the above.
In that replay, the defensive work of Tajir McCall, who was extended, had met Sotto at his highest point and without body contact nor without fouling. Just exquisite. You can see why he's so highly rated as a defender.
When you combine his athleticism and his length, so his physical gifts, with just his endeavour and his IQ. And you come up with a real impact guy at the defensive end of the floor. And chip in here from the stat man, Mark Slocum. Biggest Cairns win over Adelaide in their 77 meetings is just 24 points. Well and truly going to give that a shake tonight.
Here's Pinder dunking all over his former teammates and saying, you're missing it.
Oh, credit Majuk Deng, putting the ball on the floor. He made the play happen, and he is really enjoying himself out there, not just filling it up scoring-wise, getting some assists to go. And, yeah, of course, if you hype someone up and he does something silly down the other end and just fouls Kai Sotto, who's going to go to the line
let's load it up.
try and knock a couple down after missing those last two.
I don't want to inflict any more pain on Adelaide sporting fans, but I recall an AFL game where the Crows coach Malcolm Blight left the coach's box, walked around the ground to go into the change room because he did not want to see any more. Now, if CJ Britton were to do that right here, I'd understand why. I would understand it if he got up and walked away from this, because this has been terrible.
Well, that hurts, Case, as a Crows fan. I thought you were going back to the 2017 Grand Final, and that was going to be bad enough. There you go, Kai Sotto on the board. First points in the NBL from the free throw line.
Minute played in the final quarter. Cairns looking to come up with their biggest win against Adelaide, and Sotto at the defensive end. Well, that's a man-sized block. Shares it with Daniel Johnson, who did it early for Adelaide. Had 8 points in at halftime, only 2 since. They get it outside. Matty Malou knocks down the shot.
What started on the defensive end, Kai Sotto, he's timed his blocks really well tonight. I think that's one thing they can definitely take a positive out of, and they capitalise with a 3 down the other end.
Zimmerman, confronted by Sotto, just muscles his way up and adds another 2. He's got 15 on 7 of 9 shooting. Two minutes played in the final quarter. McCarron off the front of the rim. Hasn't scored since quarter time, Mitch McCarron. McCall against Withers. One way, back the other. Feeds Keanu Pinder, who is having a night out. 15 for Pinder.
Well, they are loving life in the tropics right now. This has to feel good for Keanu Pinder. Anytime you get it done against your former team, Johnson felt like he should have got a call there. First match up with his old team, and he's having himself a night.
It's McCall dishing Zimmerman. Hands back. It's time off the mark. Courtney. Johnson. Caught it in rhythm, let fly with it, and off the front of the rim.
Normally in these situations, people will be saying, well, maybe it's time to start running a bit of your bench and your development players, but Cairns don't have enough people in ready to go. They have got Mirko Jeric and Jordan Narte suited up, but they're both injured, so they're not going to play. So they stay with it. They can really run this score up.
Skip pass, Zimmerman, the big man for 3.
Well, don't look now. but CJ Bruton, he's bringing a 5 on, 5 off. He's got 5 guys at the bench ready to come into this game.
38-point margin. Johnson bounces in to the defender. It's a blocking call on Tajir McCall, so that's his 3rd personal, remembering that he had 2 in the opening quarter.
Well, here it comes. All 5 guys that were on the floor for Adelaide checking out. And 5 guys off the bench replacing them. Bit of a surprise, to be honest. Kai Sotto, chance to play some extended minutes here in the 4th quarter. And a guy like Cam Besto, experienced veteran, coming out here for late 4th quarter minutes. And CJ Bruton just tries to find some ways to deliver some messages to his team.
Lefty Hannahs picks up the dribble. Bairstow looks inside. Isaac Humphries gets it to Mojave King is rejected. Portnoy shut him down. Adelaide jumps 2 field goals here in the final quarter. And at the other end, Portnoy having his way with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, besides the Cairns Taipans, you know who's really enjoying their Saturday? The Sydney Kings, because all of a sudden they get a big win and they're looking back and Adelaide might take the headlines and people might forget what happened the other night against Melbourne United.
Well, we wrote down the 47 points that Sydney scored and the margin, the 42 that Melbourne won by, and I thought, well, that won't get beaten this season, and it's in danger already here. Here's Zimmerman again from deep. Shot clock expiring in the background. They lead by 40. Bairstow. Now Isaac Humphries against Zimmerman. Works to the baseline. Forced to retreat. Gets Mojave King involved. Isaac Humphries, the offensive rebound and the putback. It wasn't pretty, but they'll take anything they can get at the moment. 12 points in the game now for Isaac Humphries. Joins Daniel Johnson as their high scorer. 23 points from the kick. Then leads all scorers. Loose ball scramble. Kenny's got it. Shot clock rolls to 7. Get down low. Keanu Pinder. In this match likes his chances against Mojave King. Zimmerman in the corner. Shot clock expiring.
Well, CJ Bruton trying to lead, just some sort of energy out there. He was just non-stop talking throughout that whole possession. They give up an offensive rebound. He just said they've got to get another stop, just screaming at every opportunity.
So Hiram Harris brings Adelaide forward. They stood off him, so from 3-point territory, he fires unsuccessfully. This is going to do wonders for the Cairns Taipans' confidence. Now Scott Machado. They've been on song right from the start. Isaac Humphries shut down. Big Nate there. He's called for the foul.
And they'll have a bit of a look at that as a potential unsportsmanlike foul, the officials.
Let's go, I'm Chris, 2.
Taipans over the limit.
Not even thinking about it as a potential upgrade, just calling it as an unsportsmanlike, Jawais, trying to stop the break. Is it unsportsmanlike? No, sorry, they're in the bonus. Wow. Clearly no play at the ball.
You've had a rough one.
Oh, I've had a rough one on the unsportsmanlike. How is that not unsportsmanlike?
I'm with you.
Isaac Humphries, first trip to the free throw line this season. Can you believe that in game number 5?
Things will get any worse for the Sixers. They're 5 of 13 from the free throw line. Left a lot of easy points there. And they're 2 of 15 from 3. And plays like that aren't going to help the cause. Still 4 minutes to go in this one. Cairns Taipans fans are loving it.
So they should. This has been impressive. Taipans have been sharp. Shot clock to 3. Deng caught it deep. Mojave King with the rebound and wants to sprint back up the floor. And it's rejected as well. Thrown out of there. Nice work from Deng.
Here we go. Adam Ford emptying the bench now. Check out this block from Majuk Deng. Good hands tonight, but steals, a few blocks. And Robbie Heath checking into the game. Played NBL 1 last year for Diamond Valley, getting an opportunity and comes in, takes a charge, and normally that's a can of Coke from the coach. If you take a nice one through the chest, that's going to... Nice little welcome to the NBL. Put your body on the line.
We'll be searching for the Adelaide 36's lowest ever score here in a moment. This is looking very grim for them. I haven't seen anything like this in the last 5 years. Tick over 3 minutes to go. The Taipans. Bull Quoll goes to work. Couldn't finish it, and Isaac Humphries the rebound. Dusty Hannes takes them on. Banks 2, gets it done. Chance of a 3-point play in jump time.
As we said, it's going to be hard to take any positives out of this game for the Sixers. Isaac Humphries got 12 points, 10 rebounds, 4 offensive. So just slowly starting to find his feet in NBL 22. And Adam Ford calling a timeout. He doesn't want this to flatten out in the last 3 minutes.
Timeout called. Cairns well on top. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, well, they've worked so hard for this big lead. The Taipans want to reward themselves, reward their fans first and foremost, but also themselves on the ladder, the percentage. They're going to try to build on this win. This is going to be 2 in a row. Trying to re-establish this Cairns Convention Centre as a fortress, a really tough place for opposition teams to win. Just how they've had it over a long period of time, a couple of years recently where that's gone awry, but you need to finish it off strong. You're out by 40-odd for a period of time there. You want to try to make sure you come away with a margin that represents how much you've dominated this ball game from start to finish.
Well, it has been a domination and something of a capitulation from Adelaide, although they really never got going. Little Latrobe Financial, sharp shot, get involved with that. If you think you can hit a shot from full court at an NBL game, there's 100K on the line. And that would take some doing, but no problems, because if you miss your first shot, you can get a second from half court for 50K. Not a lot of people have backed themselves from that sort of range. Just to go to the NBL website win page to enter for your chance to shoot for 100K. Taipans with the shot clock working down. Well done. Withers denies the pass. Exploring Dusty Hannes. Floater from Hannes, all the bottom of the net. He's up to 16 on 6 of 9 shooting, Dusty Hannes. Had 7 of those in the opening quarter. Jawai working on Isaac Humphries, just muscling his way in, looking down to the baseline. No room there, coughed it up. Hiram Harris gets Mojave King involved. Shares it with Todd Withers in the corner, and he knocks down the 3.
Good ball movement from the 36ers. Good push from King. They find Harris, and then Withers spaces out to the corner. Knocks it down, and just some nice little signs here these last couple of minutes from Adelaide, bringing the energy that CJ Bruton's been after. Plays like that, straight line drives have been an issue, but they stop it at the rim.
And on the flip side, you can see Adam Ford. This will upset him, because they played way too well. They put the foot down. They got out with this 40-plus point lead. And they've just taken the foot off the gas in the last few minutes here. That's why he called the timeout. He didn't want this to happen because they didn't deserve it. And ultimately, you've got to give a little bit of the smallest possible credit to the Sixers for showing his last minute and a half. If they'd given this the whole game, we'll be talking about something completely different.
Well, they scored the last 12 points here, and the shot clock's about to expire on Majuk Deng. So there's a chance for them to add to that tally. Really wallpapering over the cracks here.
We've managed to avoid that lowest ever franchise score case. The work from Mark Slocum. Adelaide's lowest score was 57. Still is 57 as Hannah's slices to the cup versus Brisbane back in 1983. So they've topped that mark. And they've cut this margin back a little bit just to make the final product look a little bit better than it was.
The big question is, where has this last 2 minutes been? Because Mojave King was just picking up full court, turning Jared Kenny, and Adam Ford was just, look, frustrated on the sideline that play before. If you didn't look at the score and you saw Adam Ford's body language, you'd think they were losing. He's really frustrated with his last couple of minutes.
Well, Mojave King had played 3.5 minutes in this game prior to checking in a couple of minutes ago. Really hadn't seen much action as the Taipans had completely grabbed control of the game over the course of the night.
It's an interesting one because if you see, Jeff, when you're looking for just someone to bring some energy, surely that's the thing you talk to Mojave King saying, look, this is a big opportunity for you. I need you to show something for us.
He did come into the game under an injury cloud. Struggled with a groin injury last week, went off early, didn't play in the second half. I spoke to the physio, Nick Richardson, at training during the week, and he said he was good to go, but clearly not as good as they would have liked, and that's perhaps the reason that he hasn't played as much as Kenny adds another 2.
Good execution from the Taipans. Mojave King gets caught up on the back screen. They find the open man on the backside.
All the stats tonight that are great for the Taipans, highlighted at halftime. 28 assists on 36 made field goals. That is just a team that when you're down a couple of players, everybody is just playing for each other. You're in the locker room pre-game saying, it's just us. This is all we've got. We've got to go out there and play together, have some fun with it. And they've done that. Shared the ball. Everybody's got involved. You look at Majuk Deng's got 23. McCall, 13 points. And he was outstanding with only 13 points. Pinder, 15. Zimmerman, 18. And everyone else just chiming in.
I think it also just goes to show how easy they had it offensively for most of the night. Really were able to just pitch it around and find guys, attack that top line of the defense, get into the paint, draw the help, drop it off for guys in the middle of the lane. And then the biggest issue for Adelaide overall was their defensive transition in that first quarter when the game got out of hand, just not getting back on D, and the Taipans cashing in.
Kenny, Jawai takes on Isaac Humphries and draws contacts. Big Nate's off to the free throw line for the first time in the game. And when Melbourne laid an egg, Sydney laid an egg 48 hours ago, they had a chance to redeem themselves. Well, Adelaide are going to stew on this one. They don't play again until the 28th, Tuesday week, and they're hosting Perth. Then they host the Phoenix. Then they host Perth.
Oh, my. Really tough schedule coming up. But the plus side is they've got some things to work on.
But they've had things to work on since opening night.
Correct, but they've had a really hectic schedule throughout that period of time. They need to spend some time in the gym, get their defensive transition rules down pat, so they can come out and put a better show on the floor when they step out on the 28th.
Marshall onto the floor, feeds Withers. Can't connect. Chance now for Withers to get another look. This time he does knock it down. 2 of 8 from the field now, Todd Withers. 8 points, 2 rebounds. 29 minutes has been a lean night from him, but he's had lots of friends on the Adelaide bench as well. Fans climb to their feet in Cairns. It's been a win for the ages for the Taipans. They're going to prevail here by 26 points. They've stormed all over Adelaide, and the fans celebrate. It's Cairns 93, Adelaide 67.
And the scoreline probably doesn't do that game justice. You talk about Cairns, they just dominated from start to finish without that man there, Scott Machado. Cairns will be stoked with that. And spoke about Adelaide, they do have a lot of things to work on. They did get a win against the Breakers after being down 17 at halftime. Well, they have to get back to the drawing board, figure out what is their identity, what do they want to hang their hat on. Defensive transition let down, their offense wasn't there, their energy wasn't there, and it hasn't been there for the entire season so far. So back to the drawing board, and I think a little break might actually do them good in terms of what they can work on and try and just come out with a whole different mindset. But again, credit for the Taipans. This is great. Majuk Deng was outstanding, and just so good seeing everybody smiling, having fun in far north Queensland.
New career high for Majuk Deng. 23 points on the board at a really high clip. 70% from the field, 70% from long range. Had himself a night as he gets his NBL22 season off and running.
Well, that was impressive from the Cairns Taipans. And certainly Footlocker player of the game, Tajir McCall. Congratulations, you wanted the win. You told us at half-time, and it was never in doubt. That's full credit to you and the crew.
No, that's full credit to the crew and the crowd, the team, everybody. This makes me happy. Everybody got to do something and just chipped in their role, so it was great.
Taj, Liam Santamaria here. Congratulations on the win. 29 assists for you guys on 36 made field goals. What does that say about the way you guys approach this ball game?
It's just our togetherness. Quat, Juk, JK, Nate, Zim. I mean, everybody. We the family, on and off the court. So we really don't care about the stats. It's just a matter of winning and putting on for our fans and our city.
And to cheers, Pete Hooley here. Love your leadership already. I mean, you've only been with the Taipans for a couple games. Scott Machado goes out. You've got guys who are injured. What are you saying to each player? We see them come on, their roles have changed. You just seem to be giving everyone confidence and they're feeding off your energy. You must be happy with everyone roles increasing.
Yeah, everybody here for a reason. Just do what your reason is and do it as hard as you can. You can't ask for more. You don't have to be a hero. I mean, you can't replace people like Scott, Merck. Like, we're missing a lot. But as long as we give an extra effort and an extra percent, that'll take care of the rest.
Well, you thrilled the fans tonight. We're certainly glad to see you firing on all cylinders. Well done, Tajir. We look forward to seeing more of that from you as the season unfolds.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. You enjoy your night.
He is a very likeable fellow.
Oh, what a great human being. But I tell you what, he is an exceptional basketball player, and I think everybody, unless you're an Adelaide 36ers fan tonight, you'd just be happy. He might be everyone's second favourite player, the way he goes about his business. Just incredible in the open floor, can break down players one-on-one. His defense is, well, he wants to hang his hat on, but he can do everything, and he has a bit of fun doing it as well.
I wonder if he knew that he was a point guard in that swingman body that he has, because I tell you what, he came out and ran the show beautifully tonight. This was a perfect example of a guy setting the tone for his team. Both ends of the floor, setting it defensively with his activity. Look, 5 steals, just showing how active he was and his energy on the ball, drawing offensive fouls by fighting over screens, but setting the tone offensively in terms of his unselfishness. Attacking the rim, scoring, putting 13 points on the board, but 9 assists as he set up his teammates along the way.
Well, let's get a word with Majuk Deng, playing against his former team tonight. Congratulations, Majuk. That was an outstanding effort, career high for you, and the team just really pulled together when you needed to.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we needed that. We need to come out aggressive. We know they're a good team. So we just need to come and throw the first punch, and we did that, and just lock down on defense, and everything take care of itself.
And Majuk, Tools here. I just want to know, you looked a bit frustrated at times throughout the first games of the season. How do you stay mentally prepared ready for a game like this? We all know that you've got a game like this in you. We know you're an outstanding talent, but how do you make sure you stay locked in and take these opportunities?
I mean, like, I always got confidence in myself. That's one thing I never lacked. So I just got to stay ready. My teammates, they trust me, and today I was ready, and they did a good job putting me in the right position, and I was ready to knock it down.
Majuk, Liam Santamaria here. We've just been singing the praises of your teammate Tajir McCall. In the absence of Scott Machado, starts at the point guard position. What can you say about his performance tonight?
All I can say, he's a dog, you know what I'm saying? When he go, we go, you know what I'm saying? So he helped us. When you got a point guard like that, which is defense first, it make the team go. So that's what we were missing last year, and we got it this year, and I think we got a good squad to go with that.
Well, congratulations on the win, Majuk. You only had back-to-back wins once last season. You've done that here. You're off to Brisbane on Boxing Day. Maybe it's 3 in a row for the Snakes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It will be. It will be.
Love your confidence. Majuk Deng there. And he had a night out against his former team. And really, full credit to them because they all brought it. They knew they had to in the absence of Scotty Machado, and they all delivered.
Yep, they sure did. And Majuk Deng did it in a variety of ways, certainly from long range, but also getting out in transition. He'd scored just 10 points total over the course of their first 2 games. Really had a difficult time, and he got up and about tonight. And once he started feeling good, getting it on the rim, and then everything just started to come easy for Majuk Deng, getting after it defensively as well, and then catching and splashing from long range. Finished 5 of 7 from out there as he put a career-high 23 on the board. And there you see it, getting it done on the perimeter, catch and shoot mid-range, and then also a couple of finishes around the rim as well. So a real nice confidence-building game from Majuk Deng.
And I'm sure it thrilled the coach as well. Adam Ford's been kind enough to give us some of his time. Fordy, well done. Congratulations. That's an impressive performance.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell us how you got your team in such a mindset that they were able to come out and put the Adelaide 36ers under pressure straight away and maintain that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that was the preparation all week, knowing that that's why we wanted to win the game in the defensive end. Sorry, they're just telling me to keep looking down the camera. It's really awkward. So, but yeah, that was the whole thing, was just to, you know, we knew what the job was at hand and the matchup that we had. And that's pretty much what we wanted to continue on with that momentum in the second half against Tassie last week.
40, Liam Santamaria here. We asked this question of Tajir McCall as well. 29 assists for your guys on your 36 made field goals. What was the key to that tonight?
Yeah, just sort of trust in it. Like, you know, we had some guys that we wanted to target in the pick and roll coverage, but we knew we wanted to get to the back end of the offense to do so. You know, that's probably been our biggest downfall, is when we don't sort of move the ball and it gets a bit stuck. So that was the message with Taj and JK, for everybody collectively, and then recognising that we wanted to, you know, get the guys who were gone. I was trying to sub Juki out, but he kept hitting threes, so we kept him out there.
40 Hulls here. Firstly, is it too hot for a 3-piece suit? I'm a bit devastated we haven't seen the 3-piece suit so far this season.
Yeah, no, they're retired, so I like the all black. It's slimming. I'm getting older and fatter, so I'll stick with this.
Well, you're looking great, and I tell you what, we know you're an energetic coach, and we can see that on the sideline. How much easier does it make your job for a game like tonight when the whole team is up and about, their energy is flowing, especially defensively, and it's leading into offense, and it just flows. The fans get involved, everybody loves it.
Yeah, and this is what I really appreciate this group. This was something we highlighted in the Blitz, and I know I got quoted on it earlier about the non-negotiables. And it was actually nothing really to do with on-court. It was about the mental side of it. You know, the constructive criticism or immediate feedback, and then how we receive it. And not just from me, from the playing group. So, you know, now we've sort of moving past that. We're getting better with it. And, I mean, the flip side of it too, right, is we really turned it off in that last stretch. It was kind of disappointing. When you talk about momentum rolling to next week, that was a 12-point advantage to them in that last 4.5 minutes, I think.
Oh, it was still very impressive. 40, tell us, we're reading that it's 4 to 6 weeks for Scotty Machado. Do you look to replace him? Have you made a decision on that yet?
We're still exploring options. Obviously, Robbie Heath came in as an injury replacement for us. He's a guy that we can look to invest in. You know, Robbie's got a real good collegiate career in the sense that he was 9th in the country for scoring at D2 in his freshman year. He has an incredibly high free-throw rate, which is comparable to Nathan Sobey. So I'm not saying he's Sobey now. We're saying that we could potentially look to invest in him in the next 2 weeks. So, in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And that could be potentially the player that we get next season. So, I mean, if we're bringing a guy in, he can't damage what we're trying to build. So, you know, we've got to find a real important piece. So we'll see in the coming days.
Well, enjoy the win. It was a monster performance. Very impressive, and congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Adam Ford, coach of the Cairns Taipans, who really turned it on tonight against a lacklustre Adelaide 36ers, it has to be said.
Yeah, that was bad from Adelaide. I mean, they've got some real problems to solve. I mean, they'll be embarrassed. They're down 40 in Cairns tonight at midway through that game. They're going to have to do some soul searching. But for Cairns, feeling good. Couple of wins on the trot. A Christmas present for their home fans. Big win over Adelaide.
It sure was, and continues the trend. We've had 5 games so far in round 3 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. All 5 have been won by the home team. Will Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth prevail tomorrow? Well, you'll have to find out and join our coverage.
time like game day.
It is raining threes.
Hard and clutch play. It's game time like game day.
Yanni Wenzel takes it upstairs. Differential between game and shot clock.
This kid is something else.
This guy is a serious player. To get in deep, and one opportunity coming up for Lamar Patterson. Try stopping this guy. Fowling says no. Double comes for Reed. The big man spins baseline. Floater goes.
I think like I'm a shark. The way I move so sharp. I go hard for the team. That's how I play my part.
Welcome back. It's the Hungry Jacks highlights from the Cairns Taipans and Tajir McCall, who turned it on tonight. The massive 26-point win over the Adelaide 36ers, and they're going to have to lick their wounds and try and regroup. But the Cairns Taipans and their fans, plenty to celebrate.
They ran all over them, the Taipans. 26-point margin in the end, but that was a 40-point game.
Yep.
And you'll see a lot of why in these highlights. Firstly, Tajir McCall, straight line drive to the rim, easy opportunities down low, pouncing on loose balls. And then the Taipans out in transition, beating Adelaide players down the floor and finishing as a result. And that's how they managed to put together what was an absolutely enormous lead. And from there, well, everyone just got involved in the party. Everyone knocking down shots from long range, Bull Qual on the rim. And the crowd was up and about, and the Taipans started to have some fun. But big problems to solve for Adelaide. They're back to the drawing board, some time on the practice court to make amends. But for the Taipans, a real confidence-building victory. Zimmerman and Deng leading the scoring, but really Tajir McCall led the way. 13 points, 9 assists, 5 steals. And you can see there as you look at the game stats, they're 29 assists on their 36 made field goals. Didn't necessarily dominate on the glass, but in all the other effort areas, especially their energy and effort at the defensive end and getting out ahead of the pack. They dominated the game.
And what I love from listening to Adam Ford, and we probably should have asked him about it, was he brought up, he said, I'm disappointed with that last few minutes because, yeah, it should have been a 40-point game, but it just should have been a complete package from the Taipans, and he's disappointed. He said we deserved better than that. What we showed was would have been a 40-minute game they can look back on and build on, and I love that we spoke about will they bring a piece in, and he said, look, we're building something here. I don't want to disrupt that. We've kind of got a culture and everything. So a bit of a question. I have no doubt they'll be looking for someone because they played against a disappointing Adelaide who have been disappointing so far this season. Can they do that against the Perth, against the Phoenix, against the Hawks? Only time will tell.
There's a lot of belief there that they can, and in terms of the ladder at the moment, well, as we know, a little earlier tonight, the South East Melbourne Phoenix suffered their first defeat, which leaves the Illawarra Hawks as the only undefeated team. Perth, South East Melbourne and Cairns launched themselves up into the top 4 with a 2-and-run record. Adelaide 2-3. One of those wins they had to climb out of a 19-point hole against New Zealand. If they'd lost that game on top of this one, I don't want to harp on it, but they look like they've got problems. Good news is that Melbourne and New Zealand Breakers kick us off tomorrow in the Sunday Hoops. Brisbane against Illawarra and Perth against the Jack Jumpers, who are tight schedule there. They're in Sydney after that.
Really looking forward to that Brisbane-Illawarra matchup. Brisbane, they've got to come back from Perth. That's a tough trip. And Illawarra looking to continue their strong start to the season.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be the matchup of tomorrow. And New Zealand, they've just been unlucky. They've started to play some good basketball. That'll be a cracker to kick us off for Sunday.
They're not too far away. Trust you've enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Peter Hawley, Liam Santa Maria, myself, John Casey, and all our crew working hard behind the scenes to bring this to you. The Cairns Taipans were special tonight. Taj McCall, outstanding. Trust you've enjoyed it. Cairns, big winners. And we'll see you again tomorrow for Sunday Hoop. It's the Hungry Jacks NBL continues.
The way I move so sharp, I go hard for the team. That's how I play my.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Trade.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
I cannot wait to take this off. These
There you go. You have that.
Oh, boy.
Phones on silent.
All right, hi everyone. If anyone wants to jump in and ask a question to start us off, that'd be wonderful.
CJ, obviously tough loss. What can you take from that one?
Not a lot. I mean, we didn't come out with the intensity that takes to go be successful in the NBL, and I think early we didn't match that. We didn't play with the physicality that they did and try to get up and in. And as the game unfolded, we threw the ball away, we turned the ball over, which led to transition points. The sprint back, we were caught in between. Are we guarding our man? Are we getting back? And then there was a few breakdowns throughout the game. So to take something away, I wanted to get 3 stops in a row a couple of times, and we got two stops. We just couldn't get that third one. So we got a lot to work on. Yeah.
Hey CJ, do you think the intensity was kind of lost for you guys at the beginning of the game when they started strong, or where do you think it kind of unraveled for you in that?
Probably after the first 5 minutes, when looking for a couple calls, get caught, they get out in transition, there's a few errors and breakdowns and on assignments, and they make a few shots and then try to force us to create and make plays one-on-one without helping each person that was on the floor. So, but credit to them. They're playing at home. Thought that they did a good job. They executed, guys on their team. With a few guys down, they stepped up and made plays. And I thought we had a chance to really keep them in front and take away a few things from them. And clearly that wasn't the case.
What did you make of Kai Sotto's first hit out tonight, CJ?
I thought his effort was good. He attended the offensive boards. He competed and battled. He's got some work to do. It's not like he's had runs under since that first preseason game. So definitely managing him and not trying to give him too many minutes early, as I want him for the whole season. And I'm sure that you're going to see bigger and better things out of him, and the more he gets comfortable playing.
Any more questions?
Didn't think so.
What positives can you take out of that one? Obviously, one being that it is relatively early in the season.
Well, got another guy back. Kai Sotto come back and join our team. We celebrated that. I think with the way the world works, and kids die. I think I wasn't speaking about basketball. I was just talking about life in general, and those kids that got flung from the castles. We play a sport, fellas. We get to impact lives and make a difference, and I think we let one slide right now. But to have Kai Sotto join our team, to have Paul Foss come in and join our team, who's part of our stat, we celebrated that, and that was good. But the outcome and the effort that was put forward throughout the game wasn't great, wasn't who we are, but it happened. And I said to the boys, and Tub will tell you, you've got to really learn from it and take pride and be able to come back and bounce back. That's what the world loves, those guys that fight back and show that effort, and we've got to do the same.
Bit of a break in between games for you guys. I think it's 10 days. You just mentioned bouncing back. Does it make it difficult with that big gap? I know a lot of players say they like to have a game, maybe 2 or 3 nights later to really get back out there. But what does that do for your team?
Well, we need to freshen up, but we also need to make sure that we do all the little things away from each other when we are to prepare for the next week, because there is such a big gap, and really start shifting the focus. Like, I can dwell on this game, but we can't get it back, and so shifting the focus to Perth. It's a game we're playing at home, and it's after Christmas, and everyone could be happy and go have food, and but we've got a job to do. Our season's on, and it's in a big time of our season. I don't think you get a question.
No.
No questions for Todd?
Just one.
It's fine.
Todd, what was the atmosphere like in Cairns? I know it's a bit of bit of a cauldron of late. So, what was like playing there?
The fans were really rowdy. It was fun. I enjoy crowds like that kind of get after the opponent's team, stuff like that. So, it was a fun crowd to me, honestly. They matched their energy. The Cairns team definitely matched their crowd energy, and you can tell they got behind them. So it's tough to play against a team when they're matching the same energy as their crowd. So hats off to them. They shot the heck out the ball, and their fans had their back the entire game. So it was different, but it was fun at the same time.
Cool. All right, let's wrap that up. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You coming up here by yourself next time?
Yeah, sorry, guys.
It's all okay.
Good job, Warren. Merry Christmas. Way to play, boy. Way to go. Merry Christmas.
Oh, shit. It's all right.
All right, Harry, I'm going to throw to you to start us off, please.
I knew you would. I guess, guys, obviously an amazing performance, pretty utterly dominant. I guess, Adam, what were your thoughts on the game as a whole?
Yeah, obviously it was probably one of those weeks that I felt the most comfortable on the training floor. We managed a few bodies differently, but their level of attention to detail, the way we got through our training days, the feedback of how they were in the gym, the feedback on how they looked after their bodies recovery-wise. I felt most comfortable than I have in a long time going into this game, knowing that there was a level of focus, even with the bodies that we had out. The guys that stepped up tonight did their role perfectly.
Certainly so, and with Machado as well, how does that speak to the team's performance to be able to just completely ignore that and ball out like they did tonight?
Yeah, and this is I guess the identity that we're trying to build, that we've started with back in August, and with the guys that we brought in, and our identity as a collective is trying to make sure that it's not just going to be one or two individuals that get it done. Now it's great when they have an outstanding performance and they can get us over the line, but for the most part, the majority of the season is going to be won and lost by how our team plays. The mental side of it as well. The collective. We may have our night where we go well offensively, like we did tonight, and we may have a night where we're not great offensively, like last week. But the consistent with us is what we can control, and we find that's on the defensive end. And that's where we look to capitalise on. So, for me, in terms of how we went about it for 3.5 quarters was, the job was done defensively, and then we just try to reward ourselves on the offensive end. And it was great that the guys had confidence to take those shots.
Obviously, Taj, another key piece to that win, but obviously Zim and Dang as well, and Ball there as well, balling out. I guess, what are your thoughts on the players' performances individually?
Yeah, it's just that. Right? It's like everyone stepped up. Scott said it in the media during the week that it's not going to be one person that's going to have to step up and fill the void of the players that we got out. Everyone has to contribute 5 or 6 or 7% more. We had guys playing out of position. I had Juki playing the 3. I had Keanu move over to the 4. We had Taj run point. He's more naturally a 2 guard. It was guys, no one played outside themselves. They played to their potential and they did their job, and everybody stepped up for it, and that's how we have to be. I know Roth mentioned it in the lead up to our game, and I feel like we're in a similar position where he says our margin of error in what we do, especially defensively, smaller. We have to make sure we're close to perfect on the defensive side as much as possible, and again, for the majority of the game we did that.
There are only a couple of miscues, I guess, particularly on those breakaway points. I guess, do you like leaving the game with a couple of things that you want to fix and tinker with coming into training?
Yeah, and obviously my message, especially when we make some substitutions, there was a few where the immediate substitution coming in, we wanted to switch particular players, and we missed a few on those. Guys missing their assignments on the box out, especially when there's a cross match. And a lot of that happened after a timeout. So, that's on me, where I'm going to look back and go, okay, how can I better deliver that message? And I think it's our whole coaching stuff. We're still learning the dynamics of it, right? So, it was Kez the scout today. We did an outstanding job with the scout. And one of the things I require from him is also to help with the matchups of the players as we go on out. But that can't just fall on Kez's shoulders. I've got a great coaching staff with Grugs as well, that they almost need to take that responsibility on, so when the guys step out of the timeout, they know exactly who they're matched up on, and it's not too late. We're not trying to scream it on the court. So, there's something more from the coaching side of things that I know we can work on rather than the playing group.
Bull as well, mate. To be lining up in that starting 5 to get that opportunity, how do you think you made the most of it, and how do you think you performed tonight?
My job is simple. It's just come in and give my team energy on the defensive end. I think, that's what I try to do tonight whenever my name was called. And nobody can fill Scotty's shoes because that's the best point guard in the league. But for me, it was just come in and just give my team energy on the defensive end.
I think that's it for me, guys. Thanks.
I guess also just to piggyback on the back of that one too, we recruited Bull as a shooter. His whole collegiate career at Cal Baptist and Detroit Mercy, he was a great 3-point shooter. But it was a bit of a gamble from our end, just because in his final year at Detroit Mercy, the school zoned a lot. So it was a bit of a gamble in a sense to know what he was going to be like defensively. So while we're very happy with his offensive game, we didn't know what type of play we're going to get. I've been ecstatic, I guess, with the assignments that he's had now 2 weeks in a row, where we put him on Adams and Jet from last week to, be disruptive and be up and in. And then tonight, he took the responsibility of Macca, who's one of the best Australian point guards, not just in the league, but just one of the best Australian point guards going around. So, I've been very happy with Bull and, the way he goes about business.
Adam, I just got a question about Tajir. We saw how he sparked the intensity early on with his defensive prowess, and then that turning into transition buckets. How important is that kind of intensity to you guys early on in games, especially early on this season without Scotty?
Yeah, and that's it's great that we can look to him to sort of set the bar. And this was, again, what's great about this group is they're so coachable, and they want to win and they want to achieve. And leaders do things. There's different types of leaders. Some are leaders off the court. Some are leaders that get everybody around the house and cook them up dinner and be that social aspect to keep the morale high. There are some leaders who are coaches in the making, and then you get Taj, who's a leader in a lot of those areas, but he's a leader on court, and he doesn't have to say too much. There's been instances already where I'm trying to articulate at half-time what I want it to be, and, I'm drawing on the whiteboard or we're showing clips or whatever it may be, and then Taj just nails it in like 6 words or less, and you're like, God damn it, like, great, like, why don't I just think of that? And, this is what Taj brings. So I just realised I subbed him out and he still had one more assist. He could have got a nice little double-double. So, but yeah, he's great, and, we all love him, and, he's a great teammate and a great human being.
Any other questions?
Adam, I think Magic Den had a career high 9 points, and his shooting was, I think, 5 for 7. Did you know he was that lethal from the outside?
Yes. Yeah, I knew he was. That's an easy one, right? Yes. Great question, but yeah, easy one. We've been trying to get him going for a while. There's a couple of times, right, where, I think out of all our plays in our playbook, he has the most audibles for him. Right, we run wrinkles and it's always for him. We actually chucked 2 more in today just to say, like, mate, like, no one in this room's telling you, no, don't shoot it. I had scheduled for him to come out at some point in the third, just a bit of respite, and, he was killing it. So who again, great teammate, I turned to him, I said, hey, I know I'm going to get you back in there, but, right now Juki's cooking. And he's like, yeah, no, of course, leave him out there. So a little bit more of that for the rest of the season. I won't complain.
Cool, one more question for Paul. Sort of been injury after injury for your team, right? Like, first it's... You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, sorry, there's a new thing. Injury after injury, so Nurko, Jordan, Bray, then Scott. Paul, how's the team? How's that sort of mentality? Obviously, it hasn't impacted you too much with that defense.
For us, it's a huge opportunity for a lot of the guys, especially the guys like myself. And so mentality is just come in, next man up, and take this up. Don't take it for granted. And it's next man up. Come in, do your job. It's nothing. You're not coming in trying to do too much. It's just trying to do your role as to the best of your ability. Be yourself out there on the court. And so everybody, we all know we believe in ourselves, and so we're just coming in there and trying to be ourselves and just do our role to the best that we can.
Adam, one more from me, mate. How good was it to see the Convention Centre rocking tonight from a coaching standpoint? I think that's your ninth win in a row up north.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like, it was, you could feel it, and, I got great support. The crowd behind my bench does a good job keeping me in check too, because I got to watch my language. And but it's great. Like, the support's awesome. The fact that they stick around after games too. Like, I've been to a lot of arenas, win, loss, or draw, whatever it may be. You see people leaving halfway through the fourth, so they just beat the traffic. And I know. You got everyone here stays 30 minutes after the game just to say thank you and well done, and it's awesome. Like, again, the boys, it is, it's hard to explain it, but you can't put a value on how awesome home court advantage is, and the boys want to put on a good product for everybody. And again, I know I said last week, the Cairns faithful, they appreciate hard work. They appreciate the verticality on challenges in layups. They appreciate guys taking charges and, the second chance points and the rebounds and the hustle, and even if they don't come up for it. So it's a really cool venue to play in, and we just want to keep going with this momentum.
Nice, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. First person, mate.
Yeah.
Good job.
Get it out of the way, huh?
Better take that. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.